Welcome back to episode 2 of Motovlog Monday. In today's video, we are actually riding in California talking about lane splitting and whether or not it should be legal in the United States for all motorcyclists. But today, we're doing a dual vlog with my good friend Spite from Spite's Corner. All right, let's hop on the motorcycles and talk about this pretty controversial subject.
Is this thing just gonna let us out? Maybe? Maybe? Nope. Okay. No gate can hold me.
Thank you.
I think they just wanted to see me struggle. This way.
Ironically, what we're probably not going to have to do in this motovlog about lane splitting is lane split.
Yeah,
if we're
about
lucky.
to get on the PCH, so it'll be nice and easy to get where we're going.
So we literally just hopped on the motorcycles and heading over to go get some coffee, because that's what these motovlogs are all about. We're going to hop on two wheels, anywhere in the country or the world, ride and hang out, go get some coffee, grab lunch. I don't care. But today, I got my good friend Spite from Spite's Corner. If you guys haven't seen his channel, definitely go check it out. I will have it linked in the description. Amazing reviews, all around good guy, unbiased, maybe a little biased on certain things, but aren't we all?
Yeah, it's hard to find somebody who is truly unbiased, but I tend to wear them on my sleeve, and I try to be open and honest about it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's what we're here for. So Spite and I just spent the past 6 days together riding literally all over California, starting in the top, riding inland through mountain passes, down through the PCH. We saw the redwoods. So we've had some amazing experiences on the brand new Honda Transalp as well as the 2024 Africa Twin. And the one thing that he and I both got pretty good at this week is lane splitting, and that's what this video is going to be all about. I live in a part of the country where lane splitting is illegal. We are not even allowed to filter on our motorcycles, and when you're in incredibly congested areas like here in Southern California, it is a literal necessity and a part of life to get around in a timely manner. So I guess what I really want to open this discussion to is whether or not you guys think this would be a reasonable and appropriate law to pass in all of the United States for a motorcyclist. So Spite lives in Austin, Texas, and I don't believe lane splitting is legal down there. So talk about what your experience is living in Texas.
Okay, so they actually just made it officially illegal. One guy did it solely so that he could get another law passed under his belt to be the #1 bill passer in the state of Texas. So it's a very petty rule, and of course they carved out exceptions for the police. So before, it was one of those things where it was a gray area. You could, if the cop was being generous, get away with it, but now it's officially illegal, which is a bit of a bummer, because honestly I view lane splitting as a motorcyclist taking responsibility for their own safety, because in Austin it's a lot like being in California. You got a bunch of people who are three knuckles deep in their own cell phones all the time, and we have a very congested city, and people just run up behind bikers all the time. One of my buddies was on his Rocket 3 and got rear-ended on 35 because everybody was coming to a stop, and somebody just ran up behind him, and he's got back problems now. If he had been able to filter, he wouldn't have been there.
It would have hit the car instead of him.
Yeah. So the car would have bumped into another car who's got a cage, and they would have been fine. But he now has issues for the rest of his life. So it's a big bummer that they took it away from us, and I don't really see the value in removing it. It's just motorcyclists taking responsibility for their own safety on the road.
And that's not to say that people don't abuse it. That's not to say that people don't ride like asshats and give motorcyclists a bad name when it comes to filtering and splitting. But I know a lot of you guys watching my channel right now live in Europe. In most European countries, it is not only legal, it's encouraged and it's respected. And that's the thing I love seeing here in California is when you have drivers in vehicles that see you coming up along, they actually get out of your way, give or take a few. Jake had an issue yesterday with some guy who would not get out of the way.
No, that guy was being a dickhead. He just would not move. Beat up old GMC pickup, and he was upset that I was getting out ahead of him in traffic, and it is what it is.
And so that's really where the discussion comes into play, is it's like, even though we claim it's for our safety, at the end of the day, motorcycle versus car's always going to win. So is it really worth it unless every single driver is on board with understanding motorcycle travel and getting out of the way? So I want you guys to comment below. Let me know if you believe that it should be legal, or if not, if you think, it's kind of like helmet laws. If you want to ride without a helmet, that's your prerogative. But if you crash and die or get brain injury, it's kind of like that was your choice. And it's unfortunately the same with lane splitting. We are taking a risk riding so perilously close to other larger vehicles. And where I come from in the country, I don't lane split whatsoever, because those people will purposefully go out of their way to cause bodily harm to you because they think that you're getting ahead of them, literally and figuratively.
Which that is like the epitome of myopic viewpoints. Oh, this person they're ahead of me by 3 car lengths now because they got up to the front of the line. Who cares, dude? If you're that bent out of shape that you're going to put your car or your door in the way of somebody who's going to get 3 car lengths ahead of you, that says more about you than it does about anybody else.
It's just something that, I very much enjoyed riding here in California. And also, I've also been on this Transalp. I almost called it an Africa Twin. At least I ain't calling it a Goldwing like somebody I know.
I've done that so many times, getting on the DCT Africa Twin. I'm like, I'm getting on the DCT Goldwing. No, I'm not.
Nope. Joke's on me. So now that you have ridden here in California, you've done the lane splitting, you've dealt with the traffic, you've dealt with the assholes, you've dealt with the nice people, do you think that the rest of the country would actually be receptive to something like this? Or is it only this kind of like low and slow lifestyle that people seem to be living out here?
So I think that if we were going to do it, I think it should be a federal thing. I think it should be around the country, because then car drivers would be trained in their basic driver's ed course to start looking for motorcycles. So if that was just a part of the curriculum and it was regular, people wouldn't be surprised by a motorcycle rolling past their window.
And sometimes people don't they don't know that that's the law. They don't understand. I actually passed a guy while splitting who would not get out of the way, and unfortunately I noticed he had an Ohio State sticker on the car. I was like, you damn Midwesterner. But it's true. I think if it was part of the curriculum and people learned, like, hey, like I've seen that thing online where it's like, you used to count slug bugs when you were a kid. Instead of counting slug bugs, count motorcycles. And it's going to train your children and, when you grow up, to look for motorcycles instead of other vehicles. Because that's part of the issue with being a motorcyclist. People are like, it's not that they're not looking for small objects. They're looking for vehicles.
Exactly. And it's so easy for somebody to miss a bike in their periphery. But I think one of the best ways that they could roll this out is by delineating the difference between filtering and splitting, because there is a legal distinction there. Filtering is below 15 miles an hour in most cases, and splitting is above 15 miles an hour. And I think you start by legalizing filtering.
I would 100% support lane filtering everywhere, because that's really where it does get dangerous, is when you come to a dead stop.
Yeah, because, everybody's like, oh, you should leave your bike in gear. You need to be looking over your shoulder. How often do you come to a stop and just pop it in neutral and wait for that light? And are you actually looking at your mirrors to see what's creeping up behind you?
Exactly. You should be all the time. I know I am. I'm constantly looking in my rear view mirror, and sometimes I even miss a green light because I'm so focused on making sure somebody doesn't just absolutely destroy me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that I was the same way. I'm more focused on what I'm doing at the time. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not holding up production. And yeah, I do end up taking a little bit of a risk by not watching behind me, but I can't focus on everything all at once. And I think if we removed ourselves from that equation, that everybody's safety would improve, and I think that it would have a knock-on effect of more people getting on bikes, less people getting in cars, perhaps less traffic.
Oh, isn't that the dream?
I mean, wouldn't that be amazing if cities got filtering legalized, everybody got on little baby scoots and start scooting around town and filtering through, and you didn't have 5 o'clock rush hour because everybody's on their little baby scooters instead of being one person in a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, that's the dream. I also would really enjoy riding around on a little baby scooter. I'm not gonna lie, when I had to lane split on a 900-pound Harley Davidson Road Glide, it was a little intimidating.
Yeah, it can be tough.
But once again, I would like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions, where you live, whether or not you lane split, if you think it should be legalized, and honestly, if you have cons. Like, I mean, shit happens, accidents happen, and I completely understand the risk associated with doing something like that. So please leave your opinions down below. This is an open discussion video. I am not biased one way or another. I actually do not enjoy lane splitting whatsoever. It's mentally fatiguing, but I hate sitting in traffic way worse.
It's exhausting. It's really exhausting. When we were doing it coming back from San Francisco, it was hard work. And we were doing it for like 2 hours.
It was a lot. And we weren't even doing it 2 up. Poor Jonathan and Christopher.
Yeah, they were 2 up on the little baby Transalp here.
Yeah, we were riding with Blitz Rider from, well, he's originally from Mexico. And yeah, they had to ride 2 up on this little Transalp, and we were just lane splitting through traffic, and he did great, but I was like, man, that's brutal. I wouldn't want to do that.
Talk about a hitting the ground running, a rough introduction.
Oh man. But yeah, if you guys want to check out that video of our little adventure to San Francisco to go see the alleged Golden Gate Bridge, you can check that out on my channel. And if you haven't done so yet, please consider giving this video a like. I'm trying to reach more audience that are interested in motorcycles. I call it Moto Curious. And if we can attract a younger generation into the world of motorcycling, imagine what this is going to look like in another 15, 20 years when everyone's all driving these silent electric cars, nobody can hear anything, and we're just blasting through on our big loud pipe save lives bikes. And it's a dream. It sounds like a utopia. So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Obviously head over to Spike's channel if you haven't yet. You should. He's wonderful. And comment below. Open discussion. I really appreciate you guys for watching this. Jake, do you have anything else you want to say about the subject?
Ah, man, I just wish it was legal everywhere. Just give us one thing, world. You're taking so much stuff from us. Give us lane splitting, please.
Please, I appreciate it. All right, well, until my next video, thank you guys so much for watching this one. You be good, and I'll see you later.